The silence of an empty ballroom held more weight than any applause Emma had ever received. Golden light from a chandelier danced across polished tables where a three-tier birthday cake stood waiting, untouched. Every chair was in place, every glass gleaming, but as 700 approached, not a single guest crossed the threshold. In her wheelchair, Emma clung to composure, tears threatening to spill as she faced the void. She was more than the paralyzed CEO who'd fallen from grace after a devastating accident. She was a woman who'd once commanded boardrooms with fearless precision, now defined by the cruel twist of fate that stole her mobility. On the night she longed to be seen for who she was, not as a tragedy, her own circle abandoned her. Then, the doors creaked open, revealing a man in a delivery uniform and a young girl clutching his hand, her backpack slung over one shoulder. Their unexpected arrival would ripple through every heart in the room. Before continuing, if you believe kindness outweighs wealth or status, take a moment to like, comment, and share this story. Subscribe to Beyond Kindness to help spread hope. Emma Lawson had ruled a tech empire before her 40th birthday, her name synonymous with bold vision. Investors and journalists praised her, yet beneath the surface, loneliness had taken root after the crash that shattered her world. Physical wounds faded, but emotional scars remained raw. Colleagues kept their distance, seeing only the wheelchair, not the woman who'd inspired thousands by redefining leadership beyond physical presence. Birthdays, however, cut deeper. They echoed with losses and the ache of solitude. Her assistant had orchestrated an elegant affair, sending hundreds of invitations to power brokers and old friends, all confirming attendance. Emma clung to hope that this year might feel different. But as evening neared, excuses piled up, emergencies, delays, illnesses. One by one, the room emptied. The stark silence pressed against her like a physical force. Across town, Daniel Carter finished a long shift, his daughter Lily nestled close. 4 years had passed since he'd lost his wife to cancer, and every day was a battle to provide while being fully present for the girl who needed him. Hardship never dimmed his kindness. Noticing hotel staff dismantling the neglected party, he learned of Emma's solitude. The sight of her eyes, heavy with sorrow, mirrored the nights Lily had wept after her mother's death. Without hesitation, Daniel asked if he and Lily could stay. The manager's quiet nod was enough. They entered the grand hall, the girl's hand wrapped in his, a handmade gift in colorful markers clutched in her small fist. Emma's surprise was palpable as they approached, not in formal attire, but in the simplicity of his uniform and her child's earnest offering. Daniel confessed they'd come to ensure she wasn't alone on her birthday. Hesitation lingered, but the thought of another night without connection overrode their doubts. Lily stepped forward, placing the card in Emma's hands. The drawing showed 3 smiling figures beneath a sunlit cake, the words "Nobody deserves to feel forgotten" scrawled in careful script. Tears blurred Emma's vision as she read, and for the first time that evening she smiled. Moved by the gesture, hotel staff emerged from the shadows, chefs brewing coffee, a pianist resuming his music, others joining in song and clapping. Plates were filled, conversations sparked, and the ballroom transformed into a tapestry of shared humanity. Daniel spoke openly about his journey, his grief teaching him that presence mattered more than polished words. Emma realized compassion transcended status. The next Monday, she stunned her company by unveiling the Empty Chair Initiative, a foundation for single parents and those rebuilding after loss, and offered Daniel leadership of its outreach. Though hesitant, he finally accepted, understanding that character shines brightest in quiet moments. Thousands found support through that one act of defiance against isolation. Months later, Emma kept Lily's card on her desk, its message guiding every decision. The following birthday brought not elites, but families, children, and caregivers whose lives had been touched. At its heart stood Daniel and Lily, no longer strangers but chosen family. Emma understood then that the truest gift wasn't luxury or fame, but the courage of an ordinary man who refused to let another soul feel unseen. If this story resonates, share it to remind the world that kindness endures.